if you were home, minding your own business, only for your aunt to reverse her car and it crushes your leg, and your leg has to be amputated, and you are only 19 years old. And you are only 19 years old. I must be very honest with you, I do not know what I would do, man. I would be left very angry. If not angry with the auntie that was driving the car, I would be angry with God for having allowed it to happen. But amazingly, a young man by the name of Mfundo Shozi had that experience befalling him, leaving him with only one leg and the other one needing an artificial limb. But the man has progressed to be an international motivational speaker. Clap.
Good afternoon to everyone. No. Let's try that again. Good afternoon to everyone. Okay, let's try that one more time. Good afternoon to everyone. How you guys doing? So, basically what I want to do today is I want to tell you guys a story about a young man who lost his leg at the age of 19. And as I'm telling you this story, I wanted to inspire you. I don't want you to feel sorry for this young man, but I want you to see yourself and what you want to accomplish in your life in the story that I'm about to share with you. Do you guys want to hear the story? I'm not convinced. Do you guys want to hear the story? Do you guys want to hear the story? So the story starts like this. This young man standing in front of you was taken care of by his mother because my dad passed away when I was 8 years old. When my dad passed away, my mother then took care of me. She was the person that did everything for me. So growing up, ngasekhaya, I was called a mama's boy because my mother spoiled me, right? So I had everything that I wanted growing up. But when I was 12 years old, my mother passed away due to kidney failure. When my mother passed away, I then went and stayed with my grandmother. My grandmother then played a mother role in my life. She was the mother that I never had at that time. And when my grandmother, took care of me, she did everything for me as well. But when I was 16 years old, my grandmother passed away. And in that same year, I failed grade 9 in high school. So I failed grade 9, I repeated the grade, and then I went to stay with my uncle. My uncle took care of me from the age of 8. He was my role model. He was the person that I looked up to. He was the father figure role in my life. He was the person that I always went to whenever I needed anything. But when I was 18 years old, my uncle was shot due to taxi-related violence just outside our home, and he passed away. So when my uncle passed away, what helped me heal with the pain that I was going through and feeling at that time was my love and passion for playing soccer. I started playing soccer from the age of 8, and in primary school to high school, I was always in the A teams. And my dream was to one day become a professional soccer player and play for Kaizer Chiefs and Bafana Bafana. That was my dream from the age of 8. Then on one afternoon, it was around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I get a call from my auntie. She says, Mfundo, I'm outside the gate. Can you come and open the gate for me? And at that time, me and my brother were watching TV. So we went out and we opened the gate for her. And I said to my brother, don't worry, I'm going to direct her into the driveway. So now keep in mind that at home we have a very steep driveway. So I'm standing at the bottom of the driveway and I'm directing her into the driveway. And I keep calling her, was. And when the car just passed the gate, it started accelerating. And in that moment, I realized that the car was coming to bash me against the wall. So in my efforts to run away from the car, my right leg got caught up. and I watched my right leg come off. And as I was standing there, I watched my right leg laying there on the floor. I looked at myself. I looked at my leg. And then I looked at myself. And then I looked at my leg lying there on the floor. And then I realized that I had lost my right leg. I had lost my dream to become a professional soccer player. So I spent 2.5 months recovering in hospital. And during that time, I had 4 operations done. And then when I got discharged from hospital, I went home to recover. And just when I was making a full recovery, my aunt took me to a specialist to see how I was healing, because I had a skin graft operation where they removed part of my skin here and they tried to patch up the remaining part of my leg. So we went to the doctor when I was in the process of getting a prosthesis leg. And then the doctor said, unfortunately, I would have to cut off the remaining parts of Mfundo's leg. I then had an operation on a Friday to remove the remaining part of my leg. And then on Sunday, I was discharged from hospital. And then 3 weeks later, I had to go back to DUT to start over my public relations diploma. And for the first 6 months, I was walking on crutches on one leg, up until I got my prosthesis leg. Now, I always say to people that in life, when something happens to you, you have 2 choices. You either allow it to make you better, or you let it make you bitter. In life, when something happens to you, you have 2 choices. You either allow it to make you better, or you let it make you bitter. I said to myself, Mfundo, this is going to change your life for the better. I said, it doesn't matter that I'm disabled. It doesn't matter that I've lost my parents. I said, Mfundo, this is your second chance at life to make the best of your life. When I was doing my first year, I was walking on crutches on one leg, but I completed my first year with 5 out of 7 distinctions. I was the number one top. I was the number one student in my class of over 100 students. In that same time, I started my PR agency, Uvoletu Communications, with only 1,135.50 cents while doing my first year at the age of 20. In that same year, I published my first book, Dreamcatcher. This book got published in Canada. At that time, I was one of the youngest African authors to be published overseas. Now, what I want to say to you right now is that when I wanted to write this book, when I wanted to publish this book, I didn't know how I was going to get it published. When I started my first business, I didn't know anything about business. The most important thing is to just start. Because you'll never know how to do something and how to accomplish something that you've never done before and that you don't have a reference for. Most of the time when we have dreams and things that we want to accomplish in our lives, the first question we ask ourselves is, how am I going to do it? But how will you know how to do something that you've never done? The second part of my story that I want to share with you is about resilience. I've faced many challenges in my life. I've faced many difficulties. The question that people always ask me is, where do I find the strength to keep going? In life, as long as you know what you want to accomplish, as long as you know where you are going, nothing and no one can stop you besides yourself. And what I want to say to you now is a quote that has changed my life. It is a quote by Wayne Dyer that says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And as I finish my talk, I want to share an interesting story with you guys. So my accident happened when I was 19 years old. And from the age of 19 up until now, I'm 33, I still suffer from something that is called phantom pain. So from time to time, I can feel as if someone is stabbing my right leg with a knife, but that pain is not real. It's not there. So what I want to say to you as well is that most of the time when you want to do things, when you have these dreams and goals that you want to accomplish, there's going to be that voice that's going to ask you, who do you think you are? How are you going to do it? Look at your background. Look at your disability. Look at where you come from. That voice is not real, so ignore it. And as I close my talk, I want to share a poem that I wrote for you guys. Can I do so? I'm not convinced. Can I read you this poem that I wrote for you guys? So the title of this poem is Finish What You Start. In the face of trials, stand tall and strong. For finishing what you start is where you belong. With perseverance as your guiding star, you'll conquer all obstacles, no matter how far. Patience, your ally in this journey of might. It nurtures your dreams like day turns to night. When setbacks appear and darkness surrounds, keep faith in your vision, for hope knows no bounds. Through ups and downs, the path may wind, but remember, it's the climb that refines. So never give up. Keep chasing your dreams. By not accepting defeat, you'll gain more than it seems. With each step you take and each goal you pursue, you'll find the strength to see it all through. In the realm of determination, your victory will gleam. Accidents may happen and scars may bear, but they can only be symbols of strength, showing you care. Phantom pain, it may linger, but it's not real. For your spirit's unbroken, your will, your zeal. I turned my pain into a story. I turned my disability into a company. I turned my disability into an award-winning story. I turned my disability in my greatest ability to be, do, have, and achieve things beyond my physical limitations. I would like to close my talk with this quote that has changed my life and had a very positive impact on my life. And this quote is by Zig Ziglar. He once said, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great." You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Thank you.
Don't let
Everybody
them
up.
tear you down. Don't let them
Everybody
hold you
up.
back. You saw your power and strength.
Everybody up.
Show them you understand. Don't let them tear you down. Don't let them hold you back. You saw your power and strength. Show them that you understand it. Don't let them tear you down. Don't let them hold you back.
When I first met this young man, I was inspired. And I knew that I still had a lot to do in order to be as strong as you are. You might be younger than me, Bonwam, but what you have been to me is a symbol of inspiration that I will never forget. Another round of applause for Mfoni. That's what I'm talking about.
Don't tear you down. Don't let
You may
them
sit down.
hold you back. You saw your power and strength.